Hello, dear students. Today we start our lection about philosophy. And last lection we talked about creativity and cognition. Today we talked about education, science, engineering, and technology. Creativity and cognition is a very important theme about education and science. In this theme, we talked about truth and what is cognition, creativity, and this question of communication. In this theme, we talked about philosophy of science, philosophy of education, philosophy of engineering and technology. And let's start. Philosophy is a type of spiritual activity, a form of social cognitions and rationality in extremely general theme raised of fundamental worldview question about the world, about person, and his place in the world. Philosophy problem. If we talked about word, what is peace? Is being matter on cognitions. Knowledge of the word, is the word considerable? What is truth? Person, man's place in the world, human and society. If we talked about this question, we answer the question, but what comes first, matter or cognitions? If you talked about this, you talked about on one theory, materialism or idealism. Do you know the word? It's the optimistic, skepticism, and agnosticism. If we talked about meaning human, what human existence, we talked about philosophy of life, existentialism, psychology, anthropology, and another. Science is a form of social cognitions, a type of spiritual activity, the purpose which is obtain, systemize, and transform knowledge about the world and provides their ability. Philosophy of science is a reliable branch of philosophical knowledge, the subject which is scientific and cognitive activity. Structure, means, and method of scientific knowledge problems of its development. Main problem of the philosophy science, the function of science and society, analytic of cognition, structure, action, form, and another. Understanding the interaction of philosophy and science, methodology, science, a methodology of knowledge, intellectual culture. What is science? Social instruction with own structure and function, spiritual industry, a special system of knowledge. The main problem of the philosophy of science, the function science in society, analytic of cognition structure, action form, scientific knowledge, understanding the interaction of philosophy and science, methodology science, methodology of knowledge. Basic function of science, cognitive, theoretical thinking about essential of real phenomena, practical effects, participate in the transformative activities of person society. The function of science and society, cognitive, worldview, ideological, communicative, culturological, and humanic. Cognition of is a process of purposeful activity reflection of reality in the human mind. In the process of life, person performs two types cognitive action. Leans the world around him directly, that is, he discovered something new, enter for himself or for humanity, learns the world around him through the result of cognitive activity of other generation. Formation of science. Science is a modern sense of the word from the 17 and 18 centuries, work of astronomy, physics, mathematics, appear method of obligation and experiment are being developed. Development of science, competitive development of science 20th century. Big science is a sphere of scientific and scientific technical activity, theoretical and appear research and development. Universally, science research all aspects of human activity in all sphere and of public life. Infinity is the appeal of the most dependent schools combination of individual and collective scientific research. Differentiation in integration of research, priority science in the needs of society. Form of knowledge, scientific, objective, systematic organization, and grounded knowledge. Scientific state and unsystematization knowledge, present scientific, parascientific, and anti-scientific. It's utopical. Main points of view of the process of cognition: optimism, optimism, skepticism, and agnosticism. Understanding the interaction of philosophy and science. Science supplied data about the world, philosophy details of criteria, concept. Science recognize only real knowledge. Philosophy is capable recognizing unscientific truth. The points of view, the development of scientific knowledge, internalism from the issue of internalism, that the development of science is determined by internal factors. Externalism, the essence of externalism, the dynamic of scientific knowledge is determined by the action, social, historical factor, or economic and political factor. To the dynamic of scientific knowledge. Communicative is the approach, the belief, the development of knowledge occurs by gravity and a new position of the amount of knowledge. Anti-communicative is an approach whose researching defend of the point of view that during development cognition there. Evolution model and starting example, the concept of Popper, Feuerbach, and pluralism. Scientific is a part of science, leading position, ideology, cultural life, society. Anti-scientism is a complete opposite scientism development. This is arguments about scientist and anti-scientist. Educational the process formation of the world. The first, very important, the first reference is the personal. The second is the social location. Philosophy of education is the scientific of pedagogy and another theory. And we talked about the trends of philosophy education in our century, 21 century. Self-education, we talked about education about himself. And self-control, we answered this question. And literature. Thank you very much and goodbye.